Editorial Analysis for Proficiency in English. Today's editorial is all about the French Open, and it's about the different players, their achievements, and the potential. Let us start with the question, what is enrichment? As usual, you improve your comprehension skill related to sports. Important words are there: vocabulary, grammar consolidation, effective English. A few idioms are there: mini mocks, vocabulary consolidation. What is this editorial about? The editorial discusses the recent achievements of two prominent tennis players, men's champion, women's champion. Prominent means important. Carlos Alcaraz and Iga Swiatek, highlighting their performances at the French Open and their potential for future success. There are two dimensions. Good morning. One talks about the achievements, the other talks about the potential. But from this, you can learn something. What is the first one? Prominent means important. And whenever we talk about a sports event, we have to use a definite article, the Olympics, the World Cup, the French Open, the US Open, the Wimbledon, the Australian Open. That is one thing you have to know. And potential. Potential, you all have a lot of potential to achieve success. Means what? You have a lot of hidden talent. Based on that, usually I tell youngsters, you have to unleash your potential. Unleash your potential. Unleash your potential means what? Bring out your potential. An important expression you have to remember, and you have to bring it out. That is important because it talks about the success, achievements on the one hand, and potential on the other hand. The tone has to be positive, completely positive. Based on that, the tone of the editorial is a celebratory, celebrating success or achievement, winning the French Open, and optimistic. Optimistic based on their potential. Let us go to editorial vocabulary. The very first word, elite. Elite can be a noun, can be an adjective. A group or class of people seen as having the greatest power and influence within a society, especially due to wealth or privilege. Upper class. For that, you have to recollect one word, important from the exam point of view. That is gentry. Why is it important? Elite, gentry, one and the same. But this is important because though it is in the singular form, it takes a plural verb. In English, some nouns always singular form but take a plural verb. There are five important examples: cattle, poultry, gentry, vermin, and clergy. All you have to recollect. Here, example sentence: the elite of the city gathered for the exclusive gala event. Synonyms: upper class, aristocracy, an important word, nobility, an important word, and I have given gentry also. Antonyms: commoners, masses, proletariat. This goes more with Communist Party. Hoi polloi, check the pronunciation. It's a foreign expression. Anointed, we got last week, part of speech adjective. Chosen or consecrated, often with a religious or ceremonial connotation. The young prince was anointed as the next king in a grand ceremony. It goes with a function, it goes with a ceremony, officially, formally. Then, what are the synonyms here? Consecrated, blessed, sanctified, ordained. You have to remember this one, and this one. Sanctity, already we have got many a time. Antonyms: unconsecrated, cursed. Curse, we have another separate word, bane. There you get this word. Profane, secular. Secular, a common word. You have to remember all these words. It is not hair, it is air. Here H is silent. Silent H, appointed you can say. Silent or mute H, we have to use the indefinite article an. Based on that, important from the exam point of view, you have to say not a, an heir. What is the meaning? A person legally entitled to the property or rank of another on that person's death. Upon the death of someone, you get the property, you inherit the property, then we use this term. The duke's heir will inherit the entire estate. A typical example that goes with England context. Successor, inheritor, beneficiary. We don't use the word descendant here, it has a different connotation. Predecessor, ancestor, forbear. But based on the word ancestor, generally we use it in the plural form. Ancestors. What is the other word? Forefathers. Careful with spelling, F-O-R-E. Forefathers, ancestors. The next word, contend. Content has got two different dimensions, part of speech verb. One is to struggle to surmount a difficulty. You struggle to face a problem. You struggle a lot to face the hardships or the problems or the obstacles. You can use this word contend with something. It also means a contest or compete. In this context, in a competition, in a tournament, or compete with others in a contest. She had to contend with many obstacles, many problems or hardships to achieve her dream. First meaning. Synonyms compete, fight, struggle, why. This is an important word you have to remember. Antonyms surrender, yield, capitulate, acquiesce. These two words you have to remember, very important. And yield, every time I tell you guys, it is both positive and negative. Yield positive, it goes with agriculture, produce. Yield negative, it means surrender. And also you have to recollect the phrasal verb give in. You resist after some time, good morning. You surrender, then yield, yielded to pressure. One combination you have to know. Lingering, linger is a verb. We can use the different verb forms as different parts of speech. Lingering, verb ing form, it can be a noun, it can be a verb, it can be an adjective. When I say lingering thoughts, that means what? Adjective. Lasting for a long time or slow to end. There was a lingering scent of flowers in the air. Generally, I give the combination lingering thoughts. Some thoughts don't leave you immediately. Then you have to say lingering thoughts. Synonyms persistent, enduring, protracted, lasting. More than persistent and enduring, better words protracted, extended, or lasting. What are the antonyms? Brief, fleeting, an important word, transient, an important word. You can also think of the word temporary. Debilitating, an important word, part of speech, adjective. Making someone very weak and infirm. The debilitating illness left her bedridden for months. You can use it with different types of diseases, debilitating cancer, debilitating health issue, debilitating ailment. Weakening, enervating, an important word, and incapacitating. Opposite, strengthen, invigorating, an important word, and fortifying, making you very strong, important word. Unheralded. Heralded means launched, then known to many people. What is opposite? Unheralded means not known to many people, unknown, not previously announced, expected, or recognized. The unheralded team won the championship against all odds. This is an important expression you have to know. Against odds means against all unfavorable conditions. Enfeebling also you can use. Very good, Shubham. Here, unheralded team, previously not known, won the championship. Look at the synonyms unsung, unnoticed, unrecognized, obscure. Of all these words, I want you guys to remember the word obscure. Obscure means not known to many people. Imagine there's a writer, highly talented but not known to many people. We say obscure writer, obscure artist, obscure someone. Hill station. Celebrated, acclaimed, renowned, recognized. Acclaimed writer, opposite. Vague has a different connotation, busy life. Obscure, vague, in a way, synonyms. Ambiguous, vague, not clear, obscure. But obscure, another connotation, not known to many people. A different meaning altogether. Fortitude, courage in pain or adversity. When you experience pain or you face a lot of hardships or adversity, then you show your mettle or your courage. In that context, we have to use fortitude. She showed great fortitude during her long illness. What are the synonyms? Courage, bravery, endurance, resilience. You all should be resilient. Means what? While preparing for competitive exams, you come across a lot of hurdles or obstacles, sometimes high spirits, sometimes low spirits. But whatever the hurdles, whatever the obstacles, you have to be resilient and emerge victorious. Resilient nature, important. Weakness, cowardice, timidity, faint heartedness. We can also use chicken hearted, not very brave, quite opposite. Insurmountable, an important word. Part of speech adjective. Too great to be overcome. Someone or something that cannot be defeated, that cannot be crossed. The record cannot be broken in this context. They faced insurmountable challenges in their quest to climb the mountain. Quest means to search, quest for excellence. They faced a lot of problems, insurmountable problems. Synonyms, unconquerable, but the most important word here, invincible. Invincible goes with king. What does it mean? Invincible king means a very strong king who cannot be defeated. Unbeatable, overwhelming. Overwhelming goes with a different context. Surmountable, conquerable, achievable, manageable. But remember the word invincible. Bane. Boon, opposite bane. Boon is a positive word, something like a gift. Nature's boon. What is opposite? Bane. A cause of great distress or annoyance. More than annoyance, a cause of great distress. Mosquitoes are the bane of my existence during the summer. Curse, plague, nemesis, affliction. Affliction goes with pain. Afflict pain. Inflict also you can use. Nemesis an important word. Plague also important from the exam point of view because if you take diseases like the plague, the flu, the measles, the mumps, the rickets. Many a time they have given the plague, the flu, the measles. Before all these diseases, we have to use a definite article the plague, the flu, the measles, the mumps, the rickets. Important from the exam point of view. What are the antonyms? Blessing, boon, advantage, benefit. How that's all about the editorial vocabulary. This is all about the French Open. A recently concluded French Open, the French Open. It is about the men's champion, first part, about the women's champion, the second part, their achievements and their potential. How does it start? Master of three on the French Open. It is about Alcaraz. He has got three Grand Slam titles. Master of three, that means all the three courts grass, clay, and acrylic. Alcaraz has put himself at the head of the new generation in tennis. Those who follow tennis, they know for the last 2 decades, Three players, we use a term trio: Federer, Nadal, Djokovic. Slowly they are fading. Now youngsters, new generation. Among the new generation, Alcaraz has put himself at the in the forefront, at the head of the new generation in tennis. He is a leading one. That's what it means. One of the tennis's foremost challenges is in achieving multi-surface excellence. Those who know tennis, backdrop information, those who don't know. If you take tennis, four titles are very important. Together, we call them the Grand Slam titles. What are they? The US Open, the Australian Open, the Wimbledon, the French Open. And French Open played on clay. If you take Wimbledon, played on grass. US Open and Australian Open played on acrylic. Winning on all the three surfaces is the greatest achievement. That's what it says. One of the tennis's foremost challenges is in achieving multi-surface excellence. What are these surfaces? Grass, clay, and the acrylic require varied skill sets, different skill sets. And while there are many jacks in the trade, there are very few masters. This is from a particular saying, a proverb. I don't know how many of you know. Have you heard of this? Jack of all trades, but master of none. Have you heard of this any time? He is a jack, something like synthetic surface, plastic, acrylic. We also use acrylic sheets, plastic, synthetic material. Exactly. Who is this? Maladi. Jack of all trades, but master of none. Someone knows very good at many things, but not the best when it comes to a particular field. Based on that, Carlos Alcaraz, with his maiden French Open, first French Open title on Sunday, set himself on the course towards joining an elite bunch of such greats. Only a few could master all the three courts. By winning the French Open on Sunday, Carlos Alcaraz has joined that bunch of elite players. The clay court major was a 21-year-old's third alongside US Open 2022 and Wimbledon 2023 and made him the youngest man in the Open era from 1968 to display such all-court mastery. This is a third title. Earlier he got the Wimbledon and he got the US Open. Along with these two, the French Open, the third title. And in the Open era, that means after 1968, he is the youngest man to show that sort of class or mastery on different surfaces. Not an easy task. The victory came at an important time for Alcaraz. What does it mean? If you take when he won Wimbledon last year and he has won the French Open this year, between he could win only one title, Indian Wells. He was not doing well. He was going through a bad patch. Based on that, the victory came at an important time for Alcaraz. Long considered the anointed heir to the famed trio of Federer, Nadal, and Djokovic, Alcaraz in recent months hadn't looked the part. Means what? In the recent past, he hasn't done well. He hasn't performed well. He has gone through a bad patch. He has been going through a bad patch. Since winning Wimbledon, Indian Wells in March 2024 was his lone trophy, and the rise of Italian Yannick Sinner, they also say Yannick, I suppose, Australian Open champion and the world number one, meant he had a generational rival to contend with. After winning Wimbledon and last Sunday the French Open, between he could win only one title, Indian Wells. That is one part of the sentence. The other part of the sentence talks about he has to face generational rival. That's an important expression I want you guys to remember. Generational rival or opponent. Who is that? Sinner. This Sinner is also a very good player. He won Australian Open and also he's the world number one. Usually, tennis is based on power, physical fitness. Many top tennis players experience fitness problems for a long time. Based on that, lingering fitness issues, including the arm injury that limited his Roland Garros tune up to just one event, proved debilitating, made him very weak. Fitness issues always do that. But with a back to the wall performance, including in the semi final and final where he was down two sets to one against Sinner, and a resurgent Alexander Zverev, Alcaraz chose one of the sport's grandest stages to showcase his true worth. Though he was down at one point, he bounced back to prove his mettle. There's one word you have to know, expression rather. Prove your mettle. He could win against two great players, emerging players, youngsters. One Sinner, the other one Alexander Zverev. And French Open gave an opportunity to show his worth, to prove his worth or prove his mettle. Now, first part is over. The second part of the editorial about women's champion. Iga Swiatek is yet to match. We got last week also, I told an important expression, yet to come, yet to resolve, yet to win, yet to achieve, yet to match the Spaniards' all encompassing standards. Women champion, she has got 5 titles so far. Of those five, four the French Open. And the writer says, looking at Alcaraz Carlos, matching his all encompassing means what? Covering all the surfaces. She hasn't achieved yet. It may take some time. Iga Swiatek is yet to match the Spaniards' all encompassing standards, but over the last 2 weeks, the 20-year-old showed that she was peerless on the red dirt. Here, red dirt means a clay court. The French Open played on the clay court, red dirt. And peerless, an important expression. Peer means of the same age group, of the same social status, of the same class or level. And there's one important expression you may get as a passage. What is that? Peer pressure. They have already given many a time bank exams. Peer pressure. Peer pressure means pressure from your friends, pressure from people of the same age group. And usually, people may not, a lot of youngsters may not have bad habits, but they pick up the bad habits because of peer pressure. Here, peerless means no competitor, no rival. Saturday's win over the unheralded, unknown Italian Jasmine Paolini earned Swiatek her third straight French Open. This is also a great accomplishment, winning continuously 3 times a French Open, not an easy task, uphill task. Same level, that's right, Prema. Third straight French Open, fourth in Paris, and a fifth Grand Slam overall. Swiatek has won 5 Grand Slams so far. Of those, four the French Open, and based on that, they started comparing her with Nadal. Early days of Nadal's career. Swiatek's dominance is best reflected in the fact that she has only ever entered 6 Roland Garros singles main draws, has a 35 to win-loss record, and has lost just 3 sets in her 4 title runs. This is something great. She has entered only 6 times the French Open. Of 6 times, she has won 4 times. That is astonishing. Not only that, 35 2 win-loss record. 135 lost to 2. That is also astonishing. Third one, just lost 3 sets in her 4 title runs. Losing only 3 sets while getting the 4 titles, another uphill task and highly admirable accomplishment. 4-time major champion Naomi Osaka did come within a point of ending Swiatek's stay in the second round, but the Pole displayed enormous mental fortitude to weather the storm and not let the doubts consume her. There was a threat during the second round in the form of Naomi Osaka. Four-time major champion Naomi Osaka did come within a point of ending Swiatek's stay in the second round. But the poll, what does it mean, poll here? If you take the country Poland, you have to know the word forms related Polish and also Pole. Displayed enormous mental fortitude or strength to weather the storm. Weather the storm, an important idiom. What does it mean? To withstand unfavorable conditions or to face the adversity and emerge victorious. Weather the storm. And not let the doubts consume her. So good was her fortnight that she started. Fortnight means 2 weeks. Drawing comparisons with the early years of Nadal. People started comparing early years of Nadal and her performance the last 15 days or so. While Nadal's 14 titles may be insurmountable, winning the French Open one time itself is a great accomplishment, but Nadal, out of 22, he has won 14 times the French Open. And it is very difficult to equal or cross that. The sentence talks about that. While Nadal's 14 titles may be insurmountable, Swiatek, like the 22-time Grand Slam winner, that is Nadal, whom she idolizes, who is her idol or role model, Nadal, can surely expand her success beyond clay. This talks about the potential. She can go beyond the clay and she has to win on grass and acrylic. She is adept, an important word. Adept means what? Skilled. She is adept on the hard courts and has been the dominant world number one from April 2022, but for the 8 weeks in the late 2023 when Arina Sabalenka reigned. Reigned means what? Ruled. She has been the world number one since when? April 2022. But in between, for a short period of 8 weeks, Arina Sabalenka was the number one. Reigned means ruled. That means she was the number one. How does it end? The lack of success on grass, that means not winning the Wimbledon. The lack of success on grass, quarterfinals at Wimbledon 2023 being the best effort, has been Swiatek's bane, means curse. And she has a golden opportunity to correct that in 3 weeks. I think 3 weeks down the line, the Wimbledon is going to start. She has an opportunity to win and correct that curse or mistake or whatever it is. That's all about the editorial. Let us go to questions based on the editorial to test your comprehension skill. Read the first one and try to respond. Who is considered Carlos Alcaraz's generational rival mentioned in the editorial? I highlighted that part. Yes, busy life, skilled, proficient, adept, adroit. What is the answer? It is not, they don't belong to the same generation. It has to be either C or D. Clearly mentioned, Sinner is his generational rival. Very good. C is the answer. How many Grand Slam titles does Iga Swiatek have after her latest French Open win? How many titles has she got so far? She has got the French Open 4 times, and total how many? Clearly mentioned 5 times. So what is the answer? No, second one, B is not the answer. Question talks about after her latest French Open, how many titles? She got 5. Out of 5, 4 French Open. Total, the question is about the total number of titles. Answer is 5. C is the answer. What is the best performance of Iga Swiatek at Wimbledon as mentioned in the editorial? Wimbledon, the grass court, she could go up to quarterfinals. Beyond that, she could not. Based on that, what is the answer? B is the answer. Very good. Now you guys got it right. Who among the following has Iga Swiatek been compared to in terms of early career success on clay? Quite obvious. Who is the king of clay? Nadal. It is not. Answer is D. Very good. Busy life and Shreya Prema within no time. Which event was Carlos Alcaraz's lone trophy win between Wimbledon 2023 and the French Open 2024? It is not any of these. It is Indian Wells, clearly mentioned in the editorial. Let us go to error location. All e-commerce entities, including Amazon, Flipkart, and Snapdeal, have to ensure the mandatory declaration of country of origin of imported products sold in their respective sites. Read very carefully. I could not divide the sentence. Read and try to spot the error. All e-commerce entities, nothing wrong here, including Amazon, Flipkart, and Snapdeal. When you see including, do remember the verb agrees with the first subject. What is the first subject here? Entities, plural. Based on that, have to, nothing wrong. Have to ensure the mandatory declaration of country of origin of imported products sold in their respective sites. A little difficult. You got to read meticulously. Have to ensure the mandatory declaration, nothing wrong, of country of origin of imported products. These are all phrases, nothing wrong. But where is the error? Sold in their respective sites. Based on that, here we cannot say in. We have to use a preposition on. Because online platform, we cannot say in. We have to say on their respective sites. What is the reason? It is an online platform. On their sites, not in their sites. Sold on their sites. As I said, not that easy. You got to read meticulously. Crop burning, a traditional practice in Punjab and Haryana of raising fields of rice chaff to prepare it for winter sowing, begins around October and peaks in November, coincides with the withdrawal of southwest monsoon. This is not that easy. Crop burning, subject, a traditional practice. Practice here it has to be a noun. It is in the noun form. In Punjab and Haryana of raising fields of rice chaff to prepare it for winter sowing, begins around October and peaks in November. Coincides with, here we have a problem. We cannot use the verb in the ing form. We cannot use in the present form. We have to use in the ing form. Means what? Coincides is not correct. We have to say coinciding with. What is the correct word form here? Coincides with is not correct. Coinciding with the withdrawal of southwest monsoon. There's an error here. Otherwise, the sentence is right. Across the globe, people in large numbers have been seen toppling statues that stood as icons of their past oppression and continuing humiliation. This again, you got to be a little careful. To save time, there is no error whatsoever. Respect the fifth option. What is the fifth option? Usually you have no error. Across the globe, a phrase, no problem. People in large numbers, again, a phrase, nothing wrong with that. Have been seen, present perfect tense, passive voice. We have seen and they have been seen by us. Nothing wrong. Have been seen toppling statues, topple, to remove from the position. Statues that stood as icons of their past oppression and continuing humiliation. Perfect sentence, no error whatsoever. I don't know whether you can make out or not. Parajumble, the font size, you should be able to make out. If you feel it is difficult, after the session, we provide the PDF and you work on that. Tomorrow I'll give the correct order. Let us go to the next one. I feel the font size is too small too. Idioms, let the cat out of the bag, to cut corners, to add insult to injury, the last straw, the elephant in the room. Some of these are very important. Let the cat out of the bag means what? To disclose a secret, accidentally reveal a secret. Here, B is the answer. To cut corners, to do something badly or cheaply without spending required amount. Based on that, E. To add insult to injury, to make a situation worse. The last straw, a matter or problem that is obvious of great importance, but that is not discussed openly. That is the meaning of the fifth one. The final source of downfall. D is the answer. And the elephant in the room, an issue or a problem that is obvious of great importance, but that is not discussed openly. No one wants to discuss. What is the correct order here? B, E, C, D, A. Let us go to the last slide, the words we got yesterday. Messy, write the part of speech. Adjective, meaning untidy. Egregious, also adjective. Very bad and obvious, extremely bad, and also you have to think of the word obvious. Bad and obvious. Based on that, what is the answer? H is the answer. Notorious, famous, but not liked by, not for good reasons, bad reasons. Based on that, notorious also adjective. Answer is A. Grace, part of speech noun, means kindness, God's grace. Competency, noun form. Competent authority, adjective. Means what? Skilled. G is the answer. Absurd statement, absurd behavior, means adjective. Means what? Ridiculous. Checkered history, checkered past, both positive and negative aspects. This is also adjective. D is the answer. Meticulous reader, that means obviously adjective. Means what? Considering minutest details. E is the answer. And the last one, same, benchmark standard. If you have got all the 9 correct, you should be happy. All these are very important words. Editorial vocabulary. That's all for today. Have a nice day. And after the session, join the Telegram group. You can access the PDF. Thank you very much.